Good afternoon, residents and staff and all guests. I'm Marvin Plackett, and today is Tuesday, April 21st. A quick shout out to our social workers at Episcopal Church Home and the Gardens. Social workers do very important work, and thank you for that. Once again, very pleased to report that we have no confirmed COVID-19 cases anywhere at Episcopal Homes. That is great news. Remember, it's your vigilance that contributes substantially to making that happen. Keep in mind that at this time, the only vaccine that we have is social distancing. That's it. Now we have the other measures as well, right? Like frequent hand washing, wearing your face mask. But the most important vaccine that we have at this point, and the only one that we have that for sure, well, actually they say maybe at this 80% rate works, is social distancing. So that's so important. As I mentioned yesterday, there's more and more talk in the news, you've seen it, about society opening back up. Remember that we will promptly and with repetition inform you of any changes here on our campus if and when that should occur. But at least we do know this, that until May 4th, the stay-at-home order from Governor Walz remains in place. And of course, as we get close to May 4, no doubt there will be an update. I watch the daily updates just as you do at 2 o'clock. I want to read a section from a letter that came in this morning from Gail Kvenvold. Some of you know who she is. She is the president and CEO of Leading Age Minnesota. Leading Age Minnesota is the trade association for the nonprofit group of long-term care providers in Minnesota. So there are several hundred of us that are members of Leading Age Minnesota. Gail Kvenvold is a very capable leader of that organization. She sent out a letter to all staff, all people that work in the long-term care field in the nonprofit sector. Our message to Minnesota about caregivers: respect, dignity, and support. These are stressful days, but they are also days filled with purpose. Please don't lose sight that there will be a time when this global pandemic is in our past, when families having to converse with their relatives through windows is a distant memory, when final farewells can be exchanged as they are meant to be, with touch and companionship, and when the hallways and gathering places of our communities ring again with a choir of voices and the sounds of everyday comings and goings. In the meantime, I'm lifted up by the everyday victories against this terrible illness, the caregivers who find a way to bring joy with them to work, the creativity, resourcefulness, and collaboration in the face of problems we have never had to solve before, and a sense of purpose that has never been stronger. It reminds us all why we answered the call to be caregivers in the first place. With eyes forward and an open heart, we at Leading Age Minnesota express our deepest gratitude and appreciation to you, meaning all caregivers in Minnesota. And thank you, Gail, for that message. And I wanted to share that with you. It's a beautiful message. I only read you, of course, the segment of her letter. Along the lines of creativity, being resourceful, I have what I think is just a great announcement. Joey Clark, a person that many of you know. Joey has been here at Episcopal Homes for a few years now, producing wonderful shows and music. Quarantine Sing-Along with Joey Clark on Thursday at 2 o'clock p.m. We will have Joey in our courtyard with our sound equipment singing from 2 to 2:30 p.m. Again, that's on Thursday, so just 2 days from now, 2 to 2:30 p.m. Then we'll pack up and move it over to the Seabury Cornelia side of the parking lot for a repeat performance. All right? And I believe that Kristen is going to get the song sheets out so that everybody that's capable of doing so can join in on that sing-along. And now, some final words from Phil Rose.
Thank you, Marvin. I know I am definitely looking forward to Thursday afternoon and Joey Clark. That should be a fabulous day. So tomorrow is April 22nd, and it is the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. The first Earth Day was on April 22nd, 1970. I just watched a short clip, about a 3-minute clip, which was short back in the day. Now that's super long. But a clip with Walter Cronkite talking about the success of the day and how it was kind of mixed. But one of the things that I recall, the focus at that point was air pollution and water pollution. And of course that still exists, but we know that climate change is so much more, such a bigger problem for us today. And they had 20 million Americans involved in the first Earth Day, and the organizers of Earth Day predict that tomorrow they will have 1 billion people involved digitally. So if you want to follow what's happening with that, just go to earthday.org. There are events all day long promoting it. And I want to give a shout out to a couple of our climate warriors here. Betty Dyson, who lives in Iris Park Commons, and Carol Arney, who lives in Cornelia House. They have, along with many others here, but those two in particular have done fantastic work in raising awareness about climate change. So I thought I would close today with a Buddhist prayer that is featured on the Interfaith Power and Light site, which Interfaith Power and Light is an organization dedicated to climate change as well, and that is across all denominations, all faiths. And I particularly enjoyed this Buddhist one. I vow to myself and to each of you to commit myself daily to the healing of our world and the welfare of all beings, to live on earth more lightly and less violently in the food, products, and energy I consume, to draw strength and guidance from the living earth, the ancestors, the future generations, and my brothers and sisters of all species, to support others in our work for the world and to ask for help when I need it, to pursue a daily practice that clarifies in mind, strengthens my heart, and supports me in observing these vows. Thank you for listening. I will be back at 3:30. Until then, be well.